Hello, everybody. Good evening to you. It's lovely to be with you again. I just want to apologize to all my Facebook fans because I just realized that you can't do a live video if your profile is something like less than 60 days old or something. And obviously, I'm trying to do this now from my business page. So I am going to quickly try to go in and just do a live video, and hopefully, people will connect and yeah, will share this evening with us. It is so okay, let's see. Right, we seem to be alive as well on Facebook. It is still my personal one, so we're gonna have to figure it out, guys, how we're gonna do this. But anyway, a worry for another day. Tonight is going to be such a beautiful evening. I'm really looking forward to being here with you and sharing my knowledge, my belief systems, my stand on things. We're having a little bit of a different topic tonight. And the topic for tonight is broader than usual. And the reason for that is because I've been having so many clients coming to me with various questions, asking me what is happening in the world, why is it happening the way it is, what are people going through in different countries, what are we experiencing with this climate change, what was happening during the pandemic, and what's happening with the politics around us. And so I thought that it will be a good idea for me to just come here and share this evening with you, talking about really things that are around us all the time that we come across. So hopefully we are going to have an amazing evening together, like always. I'm really glad that you are here with me, beautiful souls. And if you're resonating with what I'm saying, drop a comment, drop a heart. If you have any comments, if you have any questions or need clarity about anything that I'm saying, please send me a comment. I do receive the messages, and I love that. Okay, so I have collected over the last couple of weeks, I have collected some questions from you guys. And so I am going to read them out loud, and then I will try to answer them as best as I can from my perspective, my experience, and my understanding, guys. So this is not something that I learned. This is not something that I've read somewhere. It is going to be authentic answers from me to you. And hopefully we can resonate with it. And if not, that's okay too. You don't have to agree with what I'm saying. You don't have to resonate with it. You can have different opinions. You can have different experiences. That's okay. That is why we are here together, because we are here to create a community that is not afraid to talk openly about how they're feeling. We are here to create community that shares with each other without any fear whatsoever. So, first question, and I had a little glance, very quick glance at the questions, and guys, you do not take it lightly. Hey, your questions are really incredible. So let's get right into it and let's see what we can do. Okay, so what do you think about recent events like wars, climate change, and pandemic? And what do you think that these events are revealing about the state of humanity? Ooh, we're going straight in here. Okay, welcome to those that are joining us live. It's great to be here with you guys. Drop a hi so that I know who I am kind of engaging with here. And straight into the topic with the first question. So, what do you think recent events mean? Okay, so recent events meaning wars, climate change, and pandemic. Well, okay, if we go into backwards a little bit and we go into the pandemic, because I think the COVID had a very big role in playing the catalyst for our awakening as a human race, for the collective consciousness awakening. And so I'm going to go straight into that. And, and maybe I'm going to get into trouble for this. And we don't know how monitored this is or what I'm allowed to say and what I'm not allowed to say. But from my experience, the pandemic was really created to set us free from limiting belief systems, right? Set us free from falling for, hi, V. Robinson, not sure what your name is, so it would be great if you can tell us. Hi, lovely to have you here with us. So the pandemic really tested us. It tested what we believe in. It tested what we want to allow. It tested our boundaries, and not just on an individual level, guys, because if you look at what was happening during the pandemic, Vinosha, oh, hello, beautiful. So lovely to have you with us. So the pandemic really was testing us on an individual level, but also on a collective level, because we were forced to follow rules that pretty much, if you really thought about them, made no sense. Okay. To the common brain, they made no sense. Where, you would be allowed to go into a group setting of 100 people, but you couldn't go into a setting of 120 people that was considered to be too many, and you would contract COVID, which pretty much makes no sense because you would contract it either way. And during the pandemic, what happened is the governments very quickly went into fear-based management of their population, okay, of their people. And in that fear, you could start seeing the division, right? And the division was pretty much about, what do I believe in? Is this resonating with me? Is this what I believe will keep me safe? And a lot of people during the COVID pandemic found out that the more in fear you are stuck, the more prompt you are to get COVID, the more prompt you are to getting sick. And it's not because the pandemic was choosing certain people, but because energetically you lowered your immune system, you lowered your spiritual protection, if we can call it that, right? The positive energy that is around you to protect you from any negativity. And so what would then happen is people would start falling sick, and people would start presenting themselves with symptoms. And as soon as you had symptoms, you were immediately categorized into something, right? And so it also created this stigma for people, and that fear just grew bigger and bigger until parts of the population decided, I'm not following this anymore. I don't want to live in the fear, because their level of consciousness was elevating through the pandemic and through what they were experiencing to such level that they couldn't be in that space of fear anymore. And so that's where a really great consciousness awakening happened for human race globally. Okay, so I do believe that COVID was actually serving humanity, even though it has caused so much of pain and so much of suffering. But I also do believe, and again, guys, this is my belief system through my work, through my downloads, through me working with clients that have lost loved ones through or during the COVID pandemic, that many people have just chosen to leave this earth with the help of COVID. So again, if you look at it from a growth perspective, a lot of people had to start asking themselves the question, why are we here? What are we doing here? What is the deeper meaning of life? what is my purpose here? I cannot help those that I love. My loved ones are not well. My loved ones are leaving, departing this earth. And it kind of pushed us to the real edge, where we started to ask those deep questions that then obviously would help us to step into the deeper awakening. Okay, I hope that this is resonating. Please let me know what you think. Um, you know, there are other events that the question is asking about, wars and climate change. Whew, okay, well, wars and climate change. Again, I do believe that we as human race, we do try to better our conditions on this planet, right? We do try to create a better condition for us, for our children, for the children of our children. And I feel that very often when we create something, at first it has a great idea behind it because it's made or developed from good space. So I'm going to talk about climate change, and I'm also going to talk about solar energy, right? So especially here in South Africa, because I don't know other parts of the world, but I know here in South Africa during COVID, because the energy levels of South Africa were really, really low in terms of your actual energy, your electricity. Okay. And because of that, we were experiencing lots of blackouts, where we wouldn't have any electricity, and for prolonged period of time. And a lot of people started to look for alternatives. And I do believe that the original thought behind solar energy was really good. It was to help humanity. However, since then, what I've noticed is that this has become like a trend. This has become something that people started to use to build their wealth. But the original idea wasn't about that. The original idea was about helping others. And so I feel that we as human race, we start things off in a really good light, and we really want to create something good and positive and high vibrational. But somewhere along the life, somewhere along the path, we kind of go into the ego, and then the ego takes over. And when the ego takes over, we know what happens. We start focusing on the monetary gain. We stop serving humankind and we start gaining for ourselves. And that's where the shifts happen. Okay, so I do feel that it's very similar with climate change. There was this drive for green earth, there was this drive for saving Mother Earth, and it was meant from a very good heart. But unfortunately, again, it's been taken out of proportion. People have been using those certain topics to make themselves more visible, to be seen, to be heard, to kind of drive their own propaganda. A lot of people if I can call it, in power, we're using those as a way to gain trust of populations. And I wish that sometimes we could go back to that time. Sometimes I wish that we could go back to the original idea and start building on that again and leave the ego behind. But unfortunately, we are here on this planet, and we are on this planet because we are meant to learn to almost like learn to differentiate between ourselves, our soul selves, and the ego. And when we start noticing the difference, then letting that ego go and deciding because we really want to do good, or because we want to be governed by our egos. And I feel that that's been happening a lot. We can see it with the wars as well, guys. And I'm definitely not going to dispute the trauma that wars cause. I am originally from the Czech Republic, and my own country has been throughout the history part of every single war that's ever happened in Europe. Okay, every single war marched through my country. So I definitely do not dispute the trauma, the pain, and the suffering that wars endure on people. However, I do feel that wars are again another way of politicians and people in power taking control of masses of population. And I have mentioned this before in some of my videos that we've done previously, that in order for anyone to control masses of people, they have to instill fear. Because in fear, we misjudge situations, we misjudge what our own power is, because we then believe that someone else can make us feel better or somebody else can stop this suffering. But actually, to be quite honest with you, we have to collectively decide that we have had enough and we no longer wish to be in this suffering. And that is when wars finish. That's when pandemics finish. That's when those really devastating events finish. If you look at throughout the history, every single event that happened that was really costly on lives, that would really cause great suffering to big populations, it ended because people decided to end it. Not the kings, not the queens. People decided that. Makes sense? The people on the ground collectively decided it's enough now. That's it. We're finishing this. And so I do feel that everything that is happening around us at the moment, as difficult as it is, as challenging as it is, as painful as it is for us to witness it or even be in it, I do feel that it's happening because collectively we are shifting into yet the next level of our awakening. And just getting a download now to maybe go a little bit more into what that level of awakening is. And that level of awakening is love. Really, guys, I've been feeling this for quite some time now. We are trying to get back into our original state, which is the state of love. And we are doing that through testing the boundaries as human race. We are doing this through testing what we can and cannot do, what we believe that we can and cannot do. And every single time something is happening that that is not serving us, we have the choice to decide whether we want to continue with it or not. And every single person that decides that they no longer wish to continue with that suffering or with that fear-based power, that person changes their vibration. And that ultimately changes the vibration of the people around this person. And that changes the vibration of the people around these people. And so collectively, we start changing the vibration, starting one person at a time, guys. And that's what happens when we rebel against what is happening around us that is low vibrational. When we say it's enough of suffering, we want love back. We want back what we came from. Does it make sense, guys? Let me know if this resonates. Let me know what you think, what your intake is on this, whether you agree, whether you disagree. You have every right to disagree with what I'm saying. This is not a platform where I want everybody to agree with me. Okay, I want us to have a discussion. I want to open you guys to think differently. I want you to question what is being said here so that you can start creating your own decisions. You can start creating your own belief systems around those things. Okay. What do you think about recent events and what they are revealing about the state of humanity? So I think I have kind of answered that question, right? I mean, what do I feel that they are revealing about the state of human race? Well, I do feel that we as humanity are going back to where we came from, which is God, whatever that means for you. You know, God, creator, source, energy, it doesn't matter, life force, it doesn't matter what you call it, it's still the same one power that we all came from. I've got another question here. Let me know what you think, guys. How have they changed the way we connect with ourselves and others? Okay, I think I've also answered that question, right? So I think these two actually came together. Um, are we being pushed to rethink the systems we live under, governments, economics, education, and what might be a better system for us? Okay, so again, very interesting question. 100%. I really definitely feel that we are being now pushed to rethink what we've been told over the centuries. And this is not just now in the last 20 years, this is over the centuries, where our power lies, that we need a government to govern us, we need government to dictate what we can and cannot do. Where the government decides what is okay and what is not okay for us to do. And we kind of, as human beings, we just follow that, right? Whether it resonates with us or not, we have to follow because it's the law. And if we break the law, we get punished, right? But I do feel that certain governments have been really tested over the last couple of months, couple of years. And I'm not big on politics. I don't watch the news. I haven't watched the news for 13 years now. And it's not because I'm not interested in what is happening in the world, but because I don't really believe that we are getting the correct information. I do believe that a lot of the mainstream stuff that is coming to us is filtered as to what the governments want us to receive, what information they want us to know or have about certain situation, so that we make up our mind clearly based on the information that we are getting. So if we're getting an information that a state is at fault and the state has started this terrible war that is killing our people, what are we going to do ultimately? We are going to feel bad about towards this state, right? And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to dig deeper into what resonates with me. I go into different channels and I find different information from those different channels, and then I take what resonates with me. And not everything that even on those channels is said resonates, but I do try to stay as neutral, away from making decision based on mainstream media as possible, as far from that as possible, so that I'm making my own decision based on what I feel, what I can connect into energetically, and how I feel that it is manipulating the world into believing certain things. And I do believe that the governments have been really tested. I do feel that a lot of the lies that have been said in the past, and it's not just now, it's over the centuries, is now being questioned, and people are now wanting answers, and they want evidence, and they want to feel connected to the answer that they are getting. And a lot of the times when it's a lie, you cannot connect with it because it's just made up stuff. So I truly do believe that the systems that we are used to are or have been the very limiting systems. I just want to quickly check, can everybody hear me? Can you just maybe give me thumbs up if you can hear me properly? I just saw something on the computer, so I just want to double check that you can actually hear what I'm saying. That'll be funny if I just spend an hour talking and nobody can hear me. Where was I? Can somebody remind me where I was? And I was talking about the governments and kind of the systems that we have at the moment. So in terms of the systems that we are having at the moment, I think that we are now starting to realize that they are not really serving us. They are not really being developed for our greatest good. They are here to serve some sort of agenda, but the agenda is not necessarily about us. The agenda is more about other people, and the people that are seemingly in power. Okay, and so I do believe that a lot of people at the moment are questioning what is happening. A lot of people at the moment are kind of going against what is being said, what the law is, not because they want to break it, but because they simply are testing whether the law is something that they want to follow, whether what they are told is their true as well. Okay. With regards to economics and education, economics, I think, is really changing. I know that there is this thing in Europe where a lot of countries are trying to go completely cashless. And I think a lot of that is happening in South Africa as well. It's not just Europe, but here in South Africa also, I've been noticing that a lot of businesses are now saying we don't accept cash anymore. And if you think about it, then I think that the reason for that is because if you use cash, nobody really knows where it came from. Nobody really knows, what you bought because you're buying it cash, right? But if you use a card, this little card will monitor where you are, how much you are spending, what you are buying, how you entertain yourself, what hobbies you enjoy. And basically, through this little card, there are people, I'm going to call them people, that will create a complete holistic picture of who you are in terms of your spending. Isn't that a little bit scary, guys? Because then it's going to kind of allow them to put in new laws, for example, on what medication you can and cannot buy, and because you are buying this a lot, so you are now over the quota and we're not going to give you any more of this medication, and if you want it, you're going to have to pay really big amount of money for it. You keep traveling. Every 2 months you go on holiday. Maybe you earn too much, so we are going to take away your earnings, or we're going to lower it. You keep buying certain products, so what do you do with it? Where do you put it? What do you use it for? And people start to lose their ability to choose to choose individually what they want to do with their money, because all of a sudden someone else is going to have a full overview of what people do with their own money. And I do feel that there is quite a danger there, because the amount of control and the level of control that the governments can suddenly have over us, every single spender, will be absolutely huge. And it can cause so many issues that I think we really are going to be experiencing yet again another level, another wave of rebellion is coming to me, where people are going to start going against these, because it's not in our best interest, no matter what the government say, no matter what people in power say. But they are not empowering us. They are kind of keeping an eye on us. I don't know if you've watched the movie. I think it's called The Eye. I think it's this massive gold, round kind of structure, and it has hundreds and hundreds of little TVs, and it's got everybody in it, and everybody is being monitored. And it's such an incredible movie, guys. If you haven't watched it, please watch it. I have no idea who plays in it. I don't know actors' names, but please watch it. I think it's The Eye. Just have a look at it. So, there is another question here with regards to the education, right? So education is another system that I do believe that we are rethinking really in a big way over the last couple of years. And I'm seeing it as well. So I see that in the classical education system, we really worry about whether the child is able to recite the whatever it's called, the material in their books. I don't know what it's called in English. Whether they can recite it word by word. because that's what they tested on. And I often hear my daughter, so she's in grade 7, and I often hear my daughter reciting things, and when I'm testing her before a test and stuff like that, and she knows it. But then I ask her, "Do you know what you've just said?" She says, "No." But it's okay, mom, because they don't really care whether I know it or not. They just want me to write it down, what it says. And that level of the children not knowing what they are learning, not understanding it from the bigger picture, and not being able to implement it into their lives, I think that's quite scary. Don't you think so? Maybe please let me know. Let me know what you think about this, guys. What you think about what I'm saying. What do you think about the systems? What do you think about the governments? What's your view on current education? Please send a comment below. Let us start a discussion. This is the platform to do that. And I do feel that the one thing that education is definitely missing is teaching kids to be self-aware and teaching kids to understand who they are as humans, who they want to be as people. How do they maybe want to live? What values they want to hold as adults? And I feel that the connection with their bodies and their emotions is so limiting at school that unless you do this at home with your child, there is a really great danger that your child will turn up to be following the government's rules and just do whatever the government says. And I think that we, as our generation and the people that are sharing this platform, are the people that are asking the question, is this enough? Is that what I want? Is that where I feel that my child is receiving everything that they need to have a fulfilling life? Well, I don't know. I'm not sure about that, because repeating something that I don't understand and taking it as the truth, that's a real danger, right? Because then I declare truth something that I have no idea about. So, okay, I've got a comment here. So maybe look at the school she is in. Every school, guys. Okay, I'm going to rephrase that. It is every school under the mainstream. There are little schools, or there are schools that are now focusing more on developing the child's awareness and self-awareness, okay? And they're focusing on the things that are helping the child to grow. Unfortunately, not many schools are like that. And, I am co-parenting with my ex-husband, and I don't think a school outside of mainstream is just not a question at the moment. It's not a possibility, and I'm fully aware of it. So I do the work at home with my daughter, but I'm just saying that mainly the schools are here to do quantity of education, of learning, but they're not really focusing on the quality of it, if that makes sense. My kids' school teaches yoga. Oh, I love that. That is amazing. Are you comfortable saying which school it is? I'm sure some of the listeners would love to know. So we've got a school that actually teaches yoga, self-awareness, and being present. That is amazing. I mean, if we can just go inwards a little bit, guys, how many of you can be present? And how many of you are mindful and self-aware? And if we take it even deeper, how many of your children are self-aware and mindful and able to be present with themselves and their emotions without feeling bad about feeling those emotions? Just a thought, guys. What can we do about it as a collective, right? Something is happening. Something is shifting on this planet. This planet has lended herself to us for this incredible project called Earth, and we have this amazing opportunity now to go a little bit forward, a little bit further, and test the boundaries that we've been always told that these are the boundaries. And all of a sudden now we are finding ourselves in a position where we can question those boundaries and we can decide whether we want to follow them or not. Isn't that an incredible time to be here? I know it's very challenging, and I definitely agree with that. It's very heavy, and sometimes I just feel like, ugh. But I also feel so excited and privileged to be here exactly at this time, because the awakening that population or humanity is going through right now in this moment has not been seen ever. Okay, and we've been here for a very, very, very long time. I mean, over what, 2,000 years, even more than that. And so I feel very excited about what is happening and the fact that the world is now being divided. And as difficult as it is, because a lot of families are now being divided and friendships are being divided and even partnerships are being divided, right? I know a lot of people that have had the issues of, one partner vaccinating, another partner refusing to vaccinate. I had the issue in my family as well. I'm the only one that didn't vaccinate, and everybody else in my family is vaccinated, and that's okay. There is no issue with that. But it did cause some sort of friction between us at some stage. And that's okay. That's what it's meant to do, because people need to be questioning, and you can only question when you are kind of taken out of that comfort zone. When people start to think differently around you, then you start to ask the different questions. And I really love that. I think it's a beautiful time to be here right now. Welcome, new listeners. Thank you for being here. It's a great platform to be sharing with you, and the questions are really deep today. So I don't even think that we're going to go through all of them today. And I think we just might have to do a follow-up video at some point as well. Okay, so it's actually really nice to see that Red Hill, which is a very famous school in Johannesburg, is having this self-awareness and being present as a focus in the junior school. That's brilliant, because it gives the kids some sort of foundation. Maybe it'll be great to hear from you guys. What do you do to become more self-aware and more present in your daily activities? Let me know. Drop me a comment. I would love to hear from you guys. Okay, let's go into another question. Are we happy with this? Are we happy with how I've answered it? I know I might be jumping a little bit, but these are really big topics. So, and I'm not actually sure what I'm allowed to say and what I'm not allowed to say. So this will be interesting as well to see. You wouldn't believe what happened. I'm just going to tell you this. One of my videos on TikTok was removed, and they said that I went against the governance of TikTok or something. I said something against their governance, and I was like, I post daily videos, and I'm sure some of you have seen them. Motivational videos, I do angelic guidance, and therefore it's all positive, it's all very encouraging. So I was like, this is weird. So I appealed against the decision, and within 12 hours the video was back online, and I had an apology from TikTok to say, yeah, we re-evaluated again and it was a mistake. And again, this is again going back to what we are going through collectively, right? Is that if you leave it, if I left it, then that video would be removed, and some of my listeners and some of my followers will not receive that really important message that they needed to hear at that point in their lives. And so we all have to just be aware and mindful of how much do we allow others to control our lives? How much do we allow others to control what we say? And do we stand up for what we believe is the truth, right? I don't say anything negative. I don't say anything bad, I would assume. And so I fought for what I believed was right. And I feel that collectively we've been doing that more and more. You know, we almost like lifting the veil a little bit of the unconscious mind that we've been governed by for so long. I mean, that ego has been ruling this earth for so long, centuries. And now we are saying it's enough, you know. We want to move from the materialistic, we want to move from the fun and joy and abuse of substance, and we want to move into the inner, into the peaceful, into the collective, into the kindness, loving, beautiful energy, the community, if that makes sense. Yeah, tell me, how do you resonate with what I'm saying? Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? It's okay. You have every right to disagree with what is being said in this video. Um, I do appreciate everybody's input and the fact that you are with me on this journey that I've embarked on. Just give me 1 second. My dog seems to want to go outside. Tuffy, do you want to go outside? Okay, I'm just going to open the door quickly. Come on. That was nice. Kind of took me out of that space. So who here needed to have a little bit of space? Or maybe it was me, right? And there he goes. Did you just see him walking right back in? It's like, it's too cold there. I'm not even gonna try. So yeah, that's usually the story of my life. I open the door and then nobody actually goes outside, but they will scratch the door until I actually open it. Who here has animals, guys? Just send me a thumbs up, or maybe send us a comment with, what do you have, guys? Do you have cats? Do you have dogs? How many do you have? And do they rule your home? Because my cats and dogs definitely rule this home. Okay, I'm going to go back into the questions. So I've got another question here. What role does media and technology play in awakening or distracting us from deeper truths? Ooh, okay. I know some of you that are with me here tonight would have lots to say about this. So I do invite you to share if you would like to. But what a big question, guys. Wow, like you've been like just sending me all these really big questions, these deep questions. Okay, so what role does media and technology play in awakening or distracting us from deeper truths? What do you think, guys? A question for you. Take a moment to answer this for yourself, and then I'll say what I think. I think it's nice for everyone to make up their own minds. And maybe some of you will be triggered in a way because maybe you spending quite a bit of time on media, social media, and technology. And maybe some of your loved ones, instead of spending time with you, they are spending the time on their phones or their tablets or whatever it is. And I feel that the technology and media is definitely playing more of a distracting role than anything else. I feel that we are definitely being swayed into very consumable, very materialistic, very shallow part of this journey on this earth. Everything is very without depth. We watch a lot of things that add absolutely zero to our lives, to how we're feeling. They don't teach us anything, and we just kind of mindlessly going through this scrolling. And we really can get lost in it, and we can get lost in it for hours and hours. You know, there is gaming problems for the youngsters that is really taking over at the moment, because they find it difficult to deal with the reality, with real people, with their peers, with their emotions, the drama, the fighting that happens between peers at school, that they rather go and isolate themselves into a game where they can pretend that they are someone that they're not in real life. And I feel that that poses such danger, because a lot of people these days have lost their communication skills. They've lost their connection with another humans. They can't really hold a conversation. They can't hold eye contact because they are not used to maintaining eye contact with anyone, because they are hiding behind technology. They are hiding behind media. A lot of the times what is happening is people are presenting their lives as something that they would like it to be, but it's not necessarily the true reflection. But it doesn't really matter, because they want to be perceived in certain way, and these videos and these comments and these pictures that they're sharing on social media will present itself as whatever they want to present to the world. What is happening behind the scene is a completely different story. And I do feel that this is really adding to how people are feeling internally. And I do feel that a lot of people at the moment are feeling very alone. And I'm not saying lonely, but very alone. And alone is worse than lonely, because being alone means that you don't feel that you have community around you. Being alone means that you have no support, or you feel unsupported by those around you. And I do feel that at the moment, all of this is really pushing us to again ask the deeper questions, which ultimately lead to awakening or deeper awakening. And so, I have this saying, and I'm going to say it here again: nothing is good and bad. Nothing that we experience, nothing that is happening to us, I would define as good and bad. Everything is happening. Everything just is. That's all. There is no this is good and this is bad. That's my label that I am putting onto something based on my experience, based on how I'm feeling today. And today I will call it bad, but tomorrow I'm going to be in a different energy space and I'm going to call it good, because I see it differently and I see beyond that. But today, in the space that I'm in and I'm feeling low, I am going to call it bad because it's affecting me in a negative way. But ultimately, it just is. Make sense? And so I do feel that it has a very dramatic role to play in our awakening, because it pushes us in such a level of loneliness or feeling alone, and it pushes us into such level of disconnect from everybody else, that we have no choice eventually but to start digging deeper and start asking the questions: what happened to my connections? And through those questions, we then are giving another opportunity to start creating the community that we've lost at some point. So I do feel that it is definitely trying to distract us. I do feel that technology these days has been developed or manufactured in the way that it is a huge distraction for people, because people can really get lost in it for hours and hours on end. But I also feel that, again, we as human race are so much smarter and our consciousness is so much higher than any technology out there, that eventually we will go back to where we are meant to be, which is a space of love, gratitude, community, sharing, And I do feel that technology actually is going to be doing the opposite of what it was designed to do. And I do feel that it's going to fast forward us into another stage of awakening. What do you think, guys? Does it resonate with you? Let me know, drop a comment. What do you think? How is what I'm saying making you feel? What is your opinion about this? Share it with us. Okay, do we have time for one more? I'm sure we do. Okay, so how can global crisis be used as catalyst for personal and collective growth? I think I've kind of answered that, right? So somewhere in those answers that I have given you, we have spoken about the global crisis, and we have spoken about the governments and the wars and the pandemics and all of that, and how that actually affects us in our growth, in our personal awakening, and I think it's definitely a catalyst for us, because it's becoming very apparent that the way we've been living and carrying on with life, with technology, with the level of forceful power that is being kind of shadowed over us by certain groups. I'm going to say certain groups, I don't get into trouble. I do feel that this level of disconnect can no longer be sustainable, that people are asking the right questions or starting to ask the right questions. And through the questions, they are realizing that maybe what we see is not real, or it's not the reality that we are led to believe. And therefore people are seeking the truth. People are asking, and they're going deeper within, because the truth, quite frankly, is inside of us, guys. We keep going external, we keep looking through videos, we listen to hours and hours of podcasts, people talking, but ultimately the truth that we are seeking is within us. We are the truth. We hold the truth. If we just take the time to get to know our bodies and how the body responds from truth, then we can just ask ourselves about anything, and the body will tell us. And the body cannot lie. I don't know if any of you have come across kinesiology, but the bodies cannot lie. Okay, they are not designed to lie, because they are created from light. They are created from the good, high vibrational energy that created everything around us. And so we are also part of that. And everything that we are going through, we're going through it because it is giving us an opportunity to choose how we want to go about life going forward. Make sense? Let me know. So I definitely do feel that we've been having lots of catalysts in our, maybe the last 5 years also from COVID. And I do feel that it's getting more and more intense, and we are really going to be experiencing some drastic changes. And some of you might have already started to experience it within yourselves, within your family dynamic, where things are shifting, things are changing. You are being pushed. You might be feeling like you're losing the stability, the stable earth beneath your feet. I'm not sure how to say it, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say, that everything is now crumbling down, and you have to just look at, what of this do I want to keep, and what of this am I allowing to crumble? And I'm going to rebuild it again, and I'm going to build it differently this time, because I have a different awareness, and I have a different idea about where I want to go forward and how I want to live, connecting with my truth, not what anybody else says, not what is made the rule by governments and certain groups of people. I'm going to call it people. Makes sense, guys? Uh, okay, so we have maybe time for one more question. And then if you guys that are watching online, if you have any question or if you would like to throw in a comment about what I'm saying, please do so. I would love to hear from you. How can we take individual responsibility in a way that contributes to global transformation? What a beautiful ending question. I really love that. Thank you to whomever sent this. Um, how can we take individual responsibility in a way that contributes to global transformation? So, I think the first step would be to realize and understand that we hold the power. We hold the power to transform this world. We have the power to change the course of where this world is going and how it's deciding to do that. We have the power to change the vibration on this earth and therefore change certain events that are playing out at the moment on this earth. And the way we have this power is by stepping into our true selves, which is the place of love. Again, we're going back to love, right? Didn't we do that earlier on today? And what I'm getting is that when we start understanding that or I'm going to say okay, when I start to understand that I am the most important person to me, that everything on this planet evolves around me and through me, then I ultimately have the great power to change how the events will play out. And I know what some of you are saying now, or what some of you are thinking now. Oh, really? How can I do that? I'm the only person, and I can't make any changes. I can't change what the government says. I can't change what people are choosing. I can't stop the war. I can't stop the poverty. I can't stop how people are acting, behaving. But actually, guys, ultimately, if you change your vibration and if you are vibrating from a place of love, care, compassion with yourself, then you ultimately are vibrating that same vibration to others and at others, which then will change the way they receive themselves in the moment, which then will change the way they will respond to you and others. And that cascades down. Can you see that? That's got like a ripple effect. And so when you start focusing on being in your truth and always trying to act from a place of love, you shift your vibration to higher vibrational state. And people around you have no choice but to change also. I want you to hear that again. If you change your vibration to a higher frequency, people around you have no choice but to also change their vibration. And this is how it works, is when you are vibrating at a higher vibration, people start noticing it. People feel it from you. They can see it from you. You are glowing. That's what the glow means. Okay. That's why lots of pregnant women are glowing, not because they are glowing, but because they are carrying a new life. And that life is coming to earth with this incredible energy, with this incredibly high vibration. And because you are carrying this incredibly high vibrational being, you are glowing as a result of that, because you are ultimately vibrating at a higher frequency while you are carrying the baby. Makes sense? And so if somebody wants to be with you in your circle, if somebody wants to be around you and they are vibrating at a low vibration, low frequency, they feeling hate, rage, anger, blame, shame, guilt, all of those, resentment, all of those low vibrational emotions, and they want to be around you and you are feeling love and compassion and care, who is higher here? You are. And you cannot go lower to be around this person because it doesn't feel good, right? Sometimes we can do it periodically and you will try to lower your vibration and you will try to, accommodate the person next to you and blah, blah, blah. But eventually, can you sustain that? No, you can't. Eventually, you will have to choose to leave that space because it's not resonating with you. It's killing your soul. I call this soul suicide, because you cannot willingly lower your vibration if you have tasted higher vibrational frequencies. Following me, guys? Let me know. And so, in order for this low vibrational being to stay around you and within your vibrational space, they have to somewhat change their vibration. They have to somewhat increase their frequency. And they might not meet you right there, but they will definitely move closer. And if you maintain this and they want to stay with you, then they will eventually move a little bit closer. And it's going to be process. It doesn't happen overnight. But it's also going to be like where you don't have to do absolutely anything. You don't have to train the person. You don't have to explain to them what they need to do. You don't need to show them, beg them, cry. You don't have to threaten them. You just have to stay who you are. You just have to continue being who you truly are. And people will do the work themselves because you are true to who you are. They not. We are not born from low vibrational frequencies. We are born in very high vibration, the highest of all, actually, love, right? Love has the highest vibration on this earth. Nothing else vibrates higher than love. And we are all born from that. And therefore, you are the incredibly powerful being. And at the moment, we are just going through a period of time where we have forgotten it. Well, quite a long period of time, actually. But we are now getting into the space where we are awakening into that again. And we are starting to realize the incredible power that we hold and the light that we have within, and the way we feel when we feel love. And we want that more. We want to be in that space more. And so all the pain and all the suffering that is happening on this earth at the moment, what I'm getting is that you can shift that by not giving it your energy. Because the minute you give it your energy, you are lowering your vibration, which is contradicting what you are meant to be doing, right? So the minute you start entertaining someone that is complaining and that is frustrated and that hates somebody else, that is really angry all the time, you are energetically vibrating at their level, even if it's just for a moment, but you are energetically vibrating at their level. So they periodically hold the power over you. And then it takes a lot more effort for you to take your power back again and vibrate at higher vibrations again. And so it is just easier to be in your truth all the time and not do this fluctuation, right? Not keep being up and then step down again to meet somebody and then go up again and try all that, use all that energy to build yourself up again. Do you know how frustrating that feels? Do you know how difficult it becomes when you've done the work on yourself and you are at a higher vibration, and then something happens and you meet someone and you really want to be with them or you want to connect with them, and you lower your vibration, and then you have to go through all of that hard work again to get back to that level where you've already been before you've met this person. Let's not do that, guys. Let's be honest with ourselves and let's honor where we are at on our journey. And if we are vibrating here, then we are vibrating here. Then other people need to come this way to meet us closer, because we are not going down. We are changing the way this earth is vibrating, and we are choosing something different. We are choosing community again, and we are choosing compassion again, and we are choosing help, helping each other, being there for one another. And isn't that a beautiful place to be in? So I am going to close the talk tonight with this, and I do hope that you've enjoyed it, and I do hope that you found it beneficial, that you might have learned something or something solidified your own belief system, your own way of looking at things. And I do thank you for spending this time with me, connecting with me again. And I do hope that I am going to see you again really soon. Thank you and have a blessed evening, guys. Take care. And now this video doesn't want to end, guys. Can you believe it? So maybe there is still something that we need to share with each other. I wonder. Yeah, no, it's really definitely not doing this. Oh, now it is. Okay, lovely. Have a beautiful evening.